soft magical background music, welcome to Choti Duniya. Today, we have a magical story called The Magic Lantern. Get ready to follow Arhaan, a brave little boy, on an adventure full of light, dreams, and magic. Once upon a time, in a small cozy village called Sunvale, lived a curious and kind-hearted boy named Arhaan. Every single night, without fail, he would sit by his window, looking up at the vast, starry sky. He loved watching the stars twinkle like tiny diamonds scattered across a dark velvet cloth. He often wondered what secrets and dreams they carried for the people sleeping below. One special night, as Arhaan gazed at the moon, he saw something extraordinary. A tiny, glowing lantern was floating gently in the sky, drifting down towards his village. It wasn't an ordinary lantern made of paper and bamboo. This one sparkled with a soft, enchanting blue light, shimmering as if it were alive. Arhaan's heart fluttered with excitement and wonder. Without a second thought, he tiptoed out of his house and began to run after it, his bare feet pattering softly on the cobblestone streets. As he ran, little fireflies awoke and danced around him, their tiny lights glowing in the warm night air. The magical lantern led him away from the sleeping village and towards the edge of the whispering woods, a place where the trees were ancient and so tall that their tops seemed to touch the stars. It was said that if you listened closely, you could hear their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. The lantern floated just ahead, its blue light casting long, dancing shadows on the path. As Arhaan stepped into the woods, the air grew cooler and smelled of damp earth and sweet pine. Suddenly, a magnificent silver fox with eyes like polished amber stepped out from behind a great oak tree. The fox moved with a graceful silence, its tail swishing gently. "Hello, little one," said the fox, its voice calm and wise. "Do not be afraid. I am Luxe, the guardian of the magic lantern. You have a brave heart to follow it here." Luxe gestured with its nose towards the floating blue light. "This lantern is very special. It travels the world, collecting all the dreams that children have lost or forgotten. But now, it is losing its light. Its magic is fading. If the flame goes out completely, all the beautiful dreams it holds will vanish forever, like smoke in the wind." Arhaan's eyes widened. He thought of all the wonderful dreams that might be lost, dreams of flying with dragons, sailing on chocolate rivers, or discovering hidden treasures. "Oh no, that's so sad," he said, his voice filled with concern. "How can I help?" Luxe's amber eyes seemed to gleam with hope. "There is a way, but it is not easy. You must climb the Tower of Shadows, which stands in the very heart of this forest. At the very top, you will find a special prism stone. This stone has the power to absorb moonlight and restore the lantern's magical light, but you must be quick. You must reach it before the clock strikes midnight, or the lantern's flame will be extinguished for good." Luxe then gestured to a particularly bright firefly. "This is Twinkle. She knows the way and will guide you." With a determined nod, Arhaan accepted the challenge. He knew he had to try. With Twinkle the firefly buzzing cheerfully ahead and the dimming lantern floating beside him, Arhaan ventured deeper into the whispering woods. The path was winding and tricky. Thorny vines tried to grab at his ankles and gnarled roots snaked across the ground, trying to trip him. But Arhaan was careful. "I have to keep going," he whispered to himself, remembering the lost dreams. The whispering of the trees grew louder, like 100 voices murmuring at once. They seemed to be testing him. "Turn back, little boy," one whisper seemed to say. "The shadows are long and dark," another hissed. Arhaan shivered, but he looked at Twinkle's steady light and kept moving forward. He even helped a little squirrel who had gotten its tail stuck under a fallen branch, and in return, the squirrel chattered happily and showed him a secret, faster path. Finally, through a clearing, he saw it. The Tower of Shadows loomed before him, a dark, spiraling structure that seemed to pierce the night sky. The moon rose high above it, casting an eerie glow. Taking a deep breath, Arhaan began to climb the winding spiral stairs inside the tower. The air was cold and strange. Playful shadows danced and stretched on the stone walls. They took the shape of spooky creatures and whispered discouraging words. "You can't do it," one shadow whispered, stretching into a long, spindly hand. "You're too small." Another one giggled, swirling around his feet. For a moment, Arhaan's courage wavered. His legs felt heavy, and the top of the tower seemed so far away. But then, he remembered why he was there. He thought of Luxe's worried eyes and all the children whose dreams were fading. "I can do this," he whispered, his voice small but firm. "I must save the dreams." Just then, Twinkle the firefly, who had been hovering patiently around him, glowed even brighter. "Don't worry, Arhaan, I'll light the way for you," she buzzed, her light chasing away the darkest of the shadows. As he climbed higher and higher, a small, bright star appeared in the sky, visible through a crack in the tower wall. It twinkled with a friendly light. "You're almost there." The star, whose name was Glint, seemed to sparkle. "Keep going. Don't give up." Feeling encouraged by his new friends, Arhaan found a new burst of energy and quickened his pace, climbing the final steps with renewed determination. Finally, with his heart pounding, Arhaan reached the very top of the tower. The room was circular, with an open roof that showed the entire starry sky. In the center of the room, resting on a stone pedestal, was the prism stone, but it was not glowing. It was cracked and dim, its surface looking dull and lifeless. The magical lantern, now floating beside him, was flickering weakly, its blue light almost gone. The midnight hour was approaching. Carefully, with gentle hands, Arhaan took the lantern and placed it on top of the cracked prism stone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a single, tiny spark pulsed from the lantern into the stone. Suddenly, the lantern burst into a brilliant, magnificent light, brighter than 1,000 stars. The light flowed from the lantern into the prism stone. The cracks on the stone began to glow, and then, magically, they sealed themselves, healing until the stone was smooth and whole again. The restored prism stone began to radiate its own powerful rainbow-colored light. A beautiful, shimmering beam of light shot straight up from the tower and into the night sky, creating a dazzling display like a magical firework. From this beam of light, thousands of tiny, sparkling orbs of color began to rain down, floating gently towards the village of Sunvale below. These were the lost dreams, now restored and full of life. Back in the village, children who were tossing and turning in their sleep suddenly smiled. A little girl who had forgotten her dream of dancing with butterflies felt a tickle on her nose and giggled in her sleep. A boy who had lost his dream of building the world's tallest sandcastle saw golden grains of sand falling in his mind. The forgotten dreams flew back to their dreamers, filling their hearts with joy and wonder. When Arhaan made his way back down the tower, he found Luxe the fox waiting for him at the bottom, its amber eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, little dreamkeeper," Luxe said with a gentle smile. "Your courage and kindness have saved all the dreams. You have reminded the world that even the smallest light can overcome the greatest darkness." Arhaan returned home just as the first light of dawn was painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. He was tired, but his heart was full. He carefully hung the magic lantern in his window, where its soft, steady blue light could shine out into the village. From that night on, the lantern served as a beacon of hope. Whenever someone in Sunvale looked up at the sky and saw the gentle blue glow from Arhaan's window, they were reminded that no dream is ever truly lost, as long as there is someone brave enough to believe in it. And Arhaan, the little dreamkeeper, knew that the greatest magic of all was the courage to help others. Wasn't that a magical adventure? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Choti Duniya, and hit the bell to see more magical stories every week. Keep dreaming, little friends, and remember, every dream is special and can come true.